Murray. Great to have you here. Let's talk a bit about AI. We're seeing a lot of information on the internet, in the news about AI and how it's really coming to change the world. Should we really care about AI as much as what the media is telling us?
Thanks, Tina, for having me. And it's such an exciting topic. I think some of the media is positioning AI in a negative way, and there's quite a bit of fear mongering around it, that it's going to come and take your job from you. But the big picture is that it's a very exciting space. There's lots that it can do. And I think there's just an adoption kind of chapter that we're in before we start seeing it. And I think if anything, it's going to allow us to be more human. It's going to give us more time for our relationships, time to do the things that we are good at, and it's going to enable the machines to do a lot more of what they're good at.
Oh, perfect. So can we perhaps talk about how we can adopt AI in our everyday lives? What are some of the use cases we can leverage AI for, both personally and in our businesses and at work?
I think a lot of corporates are starting to adopt AI. So either they are using tools internally or they're developing their own tools. So a lot of the productivity type of tools, the PowerPoints of the world, the Figmas, they all have assistants within them that they can help throw up a set of slides quite quickly. They can help with image generation very quickly. Documents can do text rather than you having to worry about that blank page. And in terms of the types of, or if you had to fit AI into some roles for your life, you would imagine that it could be the assistant, so doing tasks for you. In a personal capacity, maybe you planning your child's party and you want to ask ChatGPT to help give you an itinerary, ideas for creative elements there. You could use that same ChatGPT in a professional setting to help do the heavy lifting for repetitive tasks or for creative tasks. Your assistant is pretty helpful. It's $20 a month. Then you might have your strategist, so helping with your heavy lifting mental load that you would normally be challenged on, to think about how you're going to navigate your way through the next chapter of your business cycle. And then lastly, you'd think about your creative partner, so your creative strategist. So that's where you want to bring a new dimension to your business, personally or professionally, and how that might benefit you.
Incredible. Sounds like a lot of amazing, very helpful use cases that could save people a lot of time and effort. But what if I'm green around this topic? What if I'm green just around the tools that I could leverage for adopting AI? Where can I start? What can I read? Or what tools can I just kind of get familiar with as I start to my adoption journey in AI?
It's, I think, very empowering to just go and experiment, and everything starts off as a game, and the more familiar you get with playing that game, the better positioned you are for the future. So rather than thinking that AI is going to replace you, rather think of yourself as being augmented by AI in some shape or form. So I would suggest going to try out ChatGPT, interact with it, see what it comes back with. You can play on Midjourney for image creation. You can also just track a few accounts on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can see what people are doing and how they're putting that into work, just for some real world application to digest that.
Yeah, excellent. So a lot happening and a lot to digest. Perhaps talk us through, where are we going with AI? What does the future look like in this space?
The most exciting thing for me is to imagine how AI will solve multimodal problems. And multimodal problems are typically where there's interconnectedness between lots of things that the most capable human beings haven't been able to put together. And I think the most applicable field for that is in medicine. So where you have all of the parts of the body that you don't understand, all of the external things, the things that you eat and the environment that you live in, and how do you simulate how that's affecting you positively or negatively, and then how can you cure that? So I think what's exciting is within our lifetime, there are certain types of cancers that we'll have solved, and through technologies like CRISPR, we'll have gene editing to be able to take out the bad parts of our genetic code and replace it with something positive.